Hi Taurus, welcome to a new feature of mine. I am going to be doing general tarot readings twice a month for the foreseeable future, and it's just part of an experiment. I've been wanting to make more videos. I asked you guys last month about the love forecasts and whether I should keep them, and enough people said yes, so I'm going to do them separately as I always have been doing, but I'm just going to increase the general readings to twice a month. And I just recently put out astrology forecasts, and I'm going to try to keep those pretty short, because I did have them, I think, at least 10 or 15 minutes, and they don't need to be that long. And those, I don't know if I'm going to be doing those once a month or twice a month. We're going to see about those, because I don't want to do too much. That might get a little bit overwhelming for people who are subscribing. So I'm going to try to thread that needle, and we'll see what happens. So this particular forecast is going to be, it's a general one, as I say, and it's going to be for the period between the 1st and the 16th of October. And I was very deliberate with that last date, because the 16th is when we have a full moon in Aries. And for you, Taurus, Aries is your 12th house. So this full moon will be falling in this very dream-like sector of your chart. It can actually mean that your dreams and psychic ability is enhanced on this date, and perhaps something comes to light that was like a deeply buried issue, maybe within yourself, that you discover within yourself. But it could also just be any kind of secret that is revealed at that time. And it can be, I think, for people who are spiritual seekers, which probably a lot of you are, there might be some kind of a revelation that you have about your life. And maybe it's something that connects you to more than just the physical dimension. And that can be very healing for you as well. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's see here. And I should say that these forecasts are also for Taurus rising, because people sometimes ask me, if these are just for the sun signs. And I never really just put it in a prominent place and say Taurus rising, but I mean it. Oh, I should do it like this. And, even though I'm not doing the love readings, I am doing them separately. One of the reasons why I considered not doing these was because I was thinking in terms of the overlapping. If I see something in one of the general readings that's about love, I was kind of afraid that people would see it as redundant. And hopefully it just becomes more of a clarification. Remember that these are general readings, so taking them literally is a bit silly. Use them as potential messages that come through, maybe through just one of the cards. And if you'd like a private reading, those typically, most of my private readings do use your natal chart. And so that is very personal to you. And that's like your cosmic blueprint for this lifetime. And that tends to be more specific, okay? And these, you have to just take them as symbolic and hope that some of them will resonate. I certainly hope that they resonate with you. But in any case, the overall energy is the Page of Pentacles. So this could mean that in the first half of the month, you receive some kind of message, because pages can relate to messages, that is about a practical matter such as work, or some kind of money. Sometimes the Page of Pentacles can indicate that you receive a sum of money. It's not necessarily going to be some vast sum of money, but it could be some little monetary gift. And the Page of Pentacles can also relate to students. So if you have gone back to school, that might be something that you're considering doing. You know, maybe you get some money and you say, oh good, now I can go and register for massage therapy. That's what I've always wanted to do, or something like that. It doesn't have to be that you want to become a brain surgeon. It could just be that you want to pursue a course of studies, and maybe you receive money to be able to do so. But there's some kind of possible message that is related to finances, be it your career or just a loan that you were trying to get. The page can also refer to children. So if you have an earth sign child that is prominent, that maybe is something that you're focusing on, that might be also what is going on for you. It could be a person that you're interested in. It could be an earth sign, so that would be a Taurus like you, or a Virgo or a Capricorn. It sounds to me that for some of you there is like a relationship element, because there is this Eight of Cups. And when we see the cups, we should think of relationships and emotions. And this person is turning their back on something that is emotional, that is not serving them anymore. Sometimes it can speak to moving physically to a different location. But I tend to think of this more as a spiritual quest. Again, we have that full moon at mid-month, and that could be triggering some of the pieces of your life that maybe you're putting on the back burner sometimes. Another example would be if you were unhappy at a certain job and you just decided to leave it. You couldn't take another day, and maybe you will be hearing, in that instance, you might be hearing about a new job. But there's an element of all this, whatever you might be leaving, that you're looking for fulfillment, emotional fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, and there is maybe an emptiness that was there that led to this need to leave. In the near future, we have the Five of Wands. This is a card that relates to someone who is competing for what's theirs. And this can be a friendly competition. It doesn't have to be something hostile. So what I see in some people is that you may be trying to assert yourself in a new job, and you may have to be in that testing position as you start, because there are other people who are also trying to look good, for the higher ups. So it's kind of like you left something and now you're back in the fray, you're back in the fight. And it's a very vigorous energy, and there's a passion associated with wands. So whatever you're fighting for, you're fighting for something that you want. It's not half-hearted. And so there's definite emotion behind it in a positive sense, whatever it is that you're doing. Now, in terms of relationships, that could also be the case. It could also mean that you're dealing with a fire sign individual at this point. In that case, the Page of Pentacles could be that's either someone that you have left. Maybe you've left an earth sign to go with someone, or you're interested in somebody who's either an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And if I had my pick of which three it would be, it'd probably be Aries. Possibly, in a few cases, Leo, but I don't know. Rarely. I do know a couple that are Taurus and Sagittarius, but the other two signs have certain things in common with you. Aries is adjacent to you, so you're right next to one another, and Leo is a fixed sign like you. So even though it forms a square, sometimes opposites, or it's not really an opposite attracts, but more like people who clash frequently also attract. So that might be on the relationship front what's going on. But in that situation, if there's someone that you're interested in, I feel like you're kind of in a state of transition. A lot of these cards are minor arcana, and so you do end with the Fool, so that might be when you start to see more transition happening for you. And there's going to be a full moon, just to give you a heads up, in November, on the 14th of November, okay? So that's in your sign. And so my feeling is that will probably end a cycle for a lot of you. And you'll be able to make fresh new starts after that. So it could be that as you are dealing with situations now, it's more day-to-day. And some of these things, even if you were to get a new job, it might not be something that is major in your life. It might just be, and you may not even think of it. You might just think, I'm going to work here for the time being. And you might not be like all that into it. You may have just left a job because you couldn't stand it and you took something else, but you don't hold any illusions about, it being a permanent job, or that's something that you really, really want to do. You just wanted to get out of that old situation. What crosses you is represented by the Queen of Pentacles. This could be a player. This would be a woman who is, affluent or otherwise very independent in her ability to, financially, self-sustaining. And it could be a mother figure that's a challenging influence right now. It might not be your mother. If you are involved with somebody and they have a child with somebody, that other person may be figuring in a challenging way with your relationship. It could be that you are with someone and you are the mother of their child, and that is creating problems for you because the relationship is not working out. Taurus, the other thing I was thinking that this could mean is that if you're a woman who is supporting yourself, and maybe you make more than a decent income, and you have left a marriage, for instance, and you're supporting yourself just fine, you may kind of look at that other person, a potential partner, I should say, in the future, and be a little bit too concerned with what they bring to the table financially. And this is partly because you're an earth sign. So that's just how you're wired, to think in terms of dollars and cents. I'm not saying that, every Taurus woman is a gold digger and is snobbish towards a man who makes less than her. No, that would be a simplistic, way to look at things about what I just said. That's not what I mean. I just mean that this kind of thing, earth signs tend to look at life from a very pragmatic point of view, just like water signs tend to look at things from an emotional standpoint. And this kind of thought can happen because of that pragmatism. So I don't condemn people from thinking like that, because I know that it's not based on any kind of, mean attitude or anything like that. It's because of wanting financial stability and security. And that has to be kind of questioned when it's, meaning that you might overlook somebody who is really a great person for you. That's one possibility of this. The other thing, too, is that you may be staying, you may not actually leave. You may be wanting to leave a job, but you haven't done so because you're afraid of losing your cushy income, your cushy life. And so that's another thing that might cross you and kind of hinder your progress if you allow that to kind of dominate your thoughts. The advice is represented by the Four of Wands, which has to do with happy homes, real estate, and marriage. This is a very positive card for domestic bliss. But since it's a number 4, it's also about building your future. So what it could say, Taurus, is that this is something that you need to work towards. And yes, making a nice income will help you to buy, let's say, the house of your dreams, or to have that kind of stability that you're looking for, represented by the number 4. On the other hand, in order to have happiness, you have to be at peace with what you're doing. And if you're in a situation where you're not happy with your job, or, that could include your coworkers. You may love your job, but you may not like the people that are surrounding your job. Or if you are in an unhappy marriage, you may have to leave that. So this card is about, I think, more than just taking action. It's about asking yourself, if a happy home is your goal, how can you get there? And what kind of steps do you need to take to make that happen? I think, did I mention that this card is also about marriage? So for some people, you may be, I feel like if it is a marriage card, it's not so much that you're engaged or anything like that. I think it's more of a possibility that for some of you, you've had a rocky time of things, and you've been maybe thinking of leaving, and this card is saying, think of the bigger picture. What you really want is a happy home. So that either means that you do have to leave, or that you should try to cooperate within that relationship, if the relationship is worth saving. And that's always a possibility. Never say never. The other thing, too, to remember is that you've had Saturn in Scorpio, now not in the last, year and a half or so, but it has made its transit once every 30 years in the house of relationship for Taurians. So some people saw their relationships kind of fall apart at the seams, or were severely tested. And some of them might just have already gone bye-bye, but some of them may still be hanging on by a thread. This may be a chance for you to kind of redeem yourself. Now, the other thing to remember too is that Scorpio is going to be the sun sign, as the sun goes into Scorpio on, I believe it's October 22nd. So the last 9 days of the month, the sun will be in your 7th house. This will, I think it will help relationships that are a little bit iffy. It can add, warmth. The sun adds warmth, passion, creativity. It can definitely shed some light on something, or put your relationship on the spotlight, make you look at it, force you to look at it. And there's going to be a new moon there as well. on the 30th of October. Now, this is for the next forecast where these transits are going to be occurring. But, just because I'm pulling these cards for the beginning of the month doesn't mean that they're going to end abruptly then. These are all just, we're using these outer structures to do a general tarot reading. And so hopefully that will resonate with at least some of you about what's been happening in terms of relationships. But this can also be business, because the 7th house can deal with clients and, just if you have a partner, a business partner. The outcome is the Fool card. So this is about a new beginning. And I wouldn't be surprised if this particular spread is, something that extends into November. And just like I said about that full moon in Taurus in the middle of the month, this may be like this full energy may actually be starting up a month from now, from the ending of this time period. But at least it gives you maybe a taste into the future. Because right now, this is a time for you to kind of look at things from a more, how can I say it, a much more philosophical point of view with the full moon in the 12th house, and also look at your relationships. What else is happening too? Well, you have a lot of stuff in the 6th house. So that's health matters. And so you may, and also work matters. And so as I say, there may be something to do with work that you get some kind of a message. So that may be in that particular instance, for those who are definitely concerned with career, this is a card about you taking chances and just kind of going off in your own direction. So maybe for some of you, this is going to be coming up. As I say, it might be more of a new beginning at the time of that full moon, where you're ending something about yourself. But if it is sooner than that, if you do think that this resonates with you, that you're going to receive some kind of a message, then it's possible that you are going to accept, the offer, and it might be something that you are not even trained to do, or it's something totally different than you expected it to be, but you're game, you're willing to take a chance and go on a new adventure. And so I hope that you enjoyed this, Taurus, and I wish you the first part of the month that it is, full of all kinds of excitement in October, and take care of yourself. Bye.